thought we were really doing good, So to find out that we were considered poverty, it blows my mind. It's like, really? That was poverty? I've never felt poor. Hey, Jazz. Hi. Hi, buddy. Did you miss me? Hi. Yeah. He's a good boy. Who's a good boy? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna make some coffee. Well, happy Friday once again. Yes, I'm back. I worked today and now I'm home. It's Friday. It's Valentine's Day. I have 3 days because I don't work Mondays now. I'm just working Tuesday through Friday. And my husband's also off. It's a 3-day weekend. Plus, I'm going to be babysitting 3 of my littles this weekend at their house. And I'm just happy. It's going to be, a nice weekend. The weather's still gloom and doom, which, I like. I like this kind of weather because we get it so rarely. I mean, I like the sunshine too, but it's nice to have a break in Southern California to get a break. Okay, just want to make sure I get enough time because, I can talk and my camera will shut off on me. It does that all the time. So I wanted to talk to you about something that I found funny, I guess. I was reading today about what is considered middle class and what's poverty here in California because it's different from state to state. Well, it turns out for the majority of my life out here, I was pretty much upper poverty, maybe lower middle class. And the thing is, I never knew it. I never realized that I was poor. I honestly didn't. I always felt like we were doing pretty good because I don't know, maybe it's because we were frugal. Like I said, we didn't buy toys. We never had, boats and fancy RVs. We did have a pop-up camper twice, but it was, we got it for like $500 and we used that and then we sold it. And we got another one that was a little bit smaller. And I thought, we were doing good. But, for many years, I stayed home. I was a stay-at-home mom and my husband, he was the only one working. And considering he was the only one working and, we were a family of 5 and we bought our first home when I was 25. I thought we were really doing good, so to find out that we were considered poverty, it blows my mind. It's like, really? That was poverty? I've never felt poor. I always felt like we were doing good. I mean, I knew we weren't like, rich. I knew that. It's not like we ever had gardeners and maids and, I've always had to look at price tags and I was the coupon queen. And like I said, I find furniture at thrift stores and garage sales and I refinished it. And the pieces that we did buy, from an actual furniture store, we kept forever, and our kids grew up with it. And then our grandkids, we had it and I would kind of like recover things and, make it look good. I'd shampoo things and, I just never, I don't know. It's shocking to me to know that, we were considered upper poverty, I guess. And then, later on, after the kids were gone and, it was just the 2 of us, then we were considered middle class. Upper middle class is almost 200,000 in California. So yeah, we never quite reached that. I would feel like I was the Beverly Hillbillies if we were making that kind of money. My God, $200,000 a year. And I know some of you are going to be like, oh, I make that in a month. I have one spammer that keeps spamming me. I know that's what he is. He tells me how great and wonderful my videos are. And he's just so grateful now that he makes like 84,000 a week. He's just dying for me to ask him how. I'm like, right. And you're here on, YouTube commenting on videos. If you made that kind of money, you'd be out just like living your life. So people are silly or funny, weird. But yeah, I just, I'm just curious. What do you guys? You don't have to tell me your number. I'm not asking that. I don't need to know. But are you, whatever state you're in? Would you say you're middle class? Upper middle class? Highfalutin. I just I grew up really poor, so I know what poor is. Like I've told some of you, you probably haven't seen those videos, but we used to live in Watts when I was really little. I forget what it's called now, or what it was called back then. It wasn't called Watts when we lived there. And my mom, she had 5 kids. Well, actually, she had 7, but my 2 older brothers, they had moved out of the home. And so then she had us 4, and then she had another one, my younger brother. And my stepdad, who she was married to at the time, he was serving in Vietnam. He actually did 2 tours. But while he was over there, we lived in a duplex in, what is considered Watts. My mom didn't drive. And, we'd go to the grocery store and we'd each carry a bag home. And we had a grapefruit tree in the backyard, and we would pick grapefruits and put sugar on them, and that was a treat. And my mom made Bisquick coffee cakes, and it was a 2-bedroom duplex. It was all 3 of us girls slept in one room. My mom and my baby brother slept in the other room, and my older brother, he slept in the living room. He got the couch. And even then, I did not know, we were poor. I had a family and everybody loved each other, and there was always food. Maybe it wasn't, the greatest, and we always had a roof over our head. And I don't know. I always felt like we were doing okay, because there was always people that I saw that were worse off. So to me, I thought we're doing better than them. We must be doing okay. But in California, it's a little bit different, because I think a lot of people are actually lower middle class, but because a lot of people live off credit cards, and you see a lot of boats, a lot of RVs, a lot of motorcycles in our neighborhood. Everybody's got toys and they're washing them on the weekends. And, maybe they do all have lots of money, but I noticed that, when we went through that, it wasn't a depression, but when people started losing their jobs and their houses and stuff, a lot of that stuff disappeared. You don't see that many. I don't see lots of boats in the driveways anymore and RVs and stuff. It's not as common. People have, I don't know, just become more frugal. But we never wanted one. Everybody thought we would, because we were campers, and we call ourselves dirt campers. We have, we've collected the gear through the years. We have tents and sleeping bags, and we have good stuff. We like what we have, but everybody's like, why don't you get an RV? And we camp like 3-4 times a year, and it wouldn't be worth it to us. The maintenance, for one thing, they're gas guzzlers. And you're not allowed to have one in our neighborhood, even though we don't have an HOA. The neighbors don't like it, and they'll turn you in. They turned us in when we had our pop-up. We had to, either fit it in the garage or tow it, put it behind the house. So yeah, we would have to pay to park it somewhere. It didn't make any sense for us economically. So we just, we have our tents, and we're fine with that. We have cots. We're not sleeping on the ground anymore. Too old for that. And we have good gear. We have nice sleeping bags and a heater if it gets too cold. And yeah, I guess people have different styles, and I'm not judging anybody. Lots of people like to do that, and if you can afford it, it's not a problem. But it's when people feel the need to have these things and they don't make sense financially, and then it gets them in, debt that they really don't need. That's when it's a problem. And we did see a lot of people lose their houses back in that time. There was a lot of foreclosures. So, I think a lot of families I was saying how my husband and I we were not very financially savvy, because neither one of our parents knew anything about investing. They both had pensions. His mom and dad had pensions, and my dad had his military pension. Plus, when he retired, he kept working. He started a company, so he had a pension. Then later on, he got Social Security, and my mom did, and they were doing just fine. My husband and I, we weren't raised to. Nobody taught us about investing, and we didn't hang out with that crowd. We were blue collar workers. We hung out with other people like us, so it never came up. Honestly, IRAs was the extent of it, which we do have, but we didn't. We worked for companies that gave us 1099s. and I worked for myself. So we didn't have those things, because I know people keep reprimanding us for it, and it's like, I'm sorry, we're in a totally different world, I guess. We just didn't know about those things, and it's like criminal to some people that we didn't understand that kind of stuff. They get so upset and so offended. One guy just said, he felt sorry for me until he realized that we didn't invest any money, and then he tuned out. Okay. They take it personal or something, but like I said, some families just weren't taught that. Some families were. I know some people, and they are doing very well, but you can't judge everybody by that. It's not like we chose not to. We just didn't know. Now that we know, we know better, thanks to our son who has taught himself, and he's actually done very well. So now he's trying to help us. But because we don't have tons of money, all we have to supplement our Social Security is our savings. Yeah, we're a little bit scared. We don't want to do anything that's too high risk, because if we lose it, we lose it. It's gone. We're not going to get it back. So, and he knows that. He knows his parents. So he knows we're real timid. So he's not like making us invest thousands and thousands. He's trying to be, more cautious. But, I'm hoping that we'll see a return on that, because all we've done is, we put it in our IRAs, and and we do have, I think we have another stock, I want to say, John Hancock. I can't remember. My husband does handle that. I mean, I'm aware, but I don't pay attention. Everybody's like, you should know that. It's like, he has it all set up and written out. If anything was to happen to him, I will know about all this stuff, but I haven't really paid attention to it. I go to work, I make money, we're just learning. I feel like we're newbies to all this. And that's the great part about starting this channel is, I'm getting help. I'm getting a lot of good advice from the kinder people. And then I am getting reprimanded and getting some very hateful comments from people that are just disgusted with the fact that I didn't know more about money. And it's like, if it bothers you, that why comment? Just, erase me. Just be like, I'm not watching this broad. She's an idiot. But you don't have to stop and comment and let me know that you think I'm an idiot. That's not nice. I wouldn't do that to you. But anyway, I'm just here to learn. And thank you to those of you that have given great advice. It is helping. I am learning. And I feel like, we're going to be okay. I've always been hopeful. I'm an optimist. It's not like, I feel like we're going to be homeless. If worst came to worst, the absolute worst thing, in my opinion, would be we would have to sell our house and live off of the money from our house. But the goal is to keep the house, even though it's not free, because we still are going to have to pay interest, or not interest, insurance on it. And yeah, you do pay interest, right? Taxes. Couldn't remember. But yeah, we still are going to have to continue to pay taxes and, and keep it insured and all that stuff. So it's not free. But if we got to the point where even that was becoming a burden, then yeah, we would consider selling our house. And it's up in the air what we would do at that point. Because like I said, we're not leaving California, not unless all my kids decided to go. I'm staying here. And people have even suggested putting an ADU on one of their lots. I would not do that to my kids. And I love my kids, and I know they love me. But the last thing in the world they would want. Maybe if one of us passed away, they would, the other one. But the two of us together, that would be too much. So yeah, maybe my daughter. Yeah, it would probably be my daughter. She would do that. It's just different. But we've thought about that. But she lives in Northern California, and that's 14 hours away from my boys and, 7 of my other 8 grandkids. So, we'd be going back and forth, and that would cost a lot of money too. So we'll figure it out. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys about that. I didn't realize I'm poor. I've always been poor. I'm poor financially, but I'm not poor in everything else that matters. I feel very rich. I feel very blessed. I've always been very fortunate. So okay, well, I'm gonna let you go because I gotta get ready. It is Valentine's Day. My husband's gonna be home soon, and hopefully we're gonna have a great 3-day weekend. I hope you guys do too. See you guys in the next video. Have a good weekend.